guys, just going to cover the install video today for the WRX. This is like an STI one, so it has the Harman Kardon system. You can see you got the sort of labels on the speakers. It's also got 360 camera. We'll fire the car up. Not used to the old manual. Factory head unit, obviously slow boot. Factory options, we have a reverse camera, and then it also gives you camera coming up the front there on certain things if you're close to something. So I just want to show you what happens when we drive out so you can sort of see it again. So once that sensor's away, it's a bit slow still picking it up, but when we come out, I don't know if that's just like broken or always on or what, but I think that should have gone off. I know this car has had some crash damage, so that could be it. There, it's gone now. So that's our factory options. Steering wheel controls, they'll still like work. All our like factory amp on the Harman Kardon, you can see it's like a label on there, will still like work. Reverse camera, our USB retention, we'll keep all that working, and we will be good, and we'll go and cover this install video today. So if your dash looks a bit like this is sort of what you're after. You want the silver trim around here, and your factory head unit will be kind of that triangle, curved like rectangle shape with the angles on each side. And if your buttons, a whole one here or half, it doesn't actually matter because we have both in the kit. So that's cool. So we'll go through and we'll show you what we're going to do here. So these can quite often be bad plastic at the top here. I'm hoping this one isn't the case, but we will see. Now you can get your trim tool in the bottom here and start to like leave this off. I've just used my hands at the start. This is when you got to be gentle. So this aircon vent up the top here, don't worry about doing that at the bottom bit first. I just like loosened a bit. So this one here, after I've gone around a few times, I like loosened a bit, then I got this one in here. Work that corner, work it along, and just know these are so brittle that I'm trying to be as careful as I can with it. And then you should just be able to, I've actually sort of popped it out of its little thing, which is not the end of the world. I didn't get it off with that off. So that's okay, that happens sometimes. Two little plugs in here. They've both got little press down things on the top. Now, our unit's actually going to replace this, so it's not really, I'm telling you something, I think it's going to replace it. It's got little press down tabs to pull them out. So I used the flat head and I just pressed down that clip and I got it out. Our unit's going to replace, so those are your two clips there. These are the things I was talking about pressing down. You're going to press those down. If it seems jam, press it back in, then press it down. And now we're going to take this out here. So I'm just going to check on this one. Oh, the clip that's holding it in is on the side, I believe. These bits you do need to keep. We're not replacing these, so just be gentle. I'm just trying to see what clip's holding it in. There we go. So I just put a little bit of pressure up under there, and that popped that clip there out. So that is something to keep an eye on, because these are always, every time you do this car, these are always a bit hard. Yes, so those who had those two clips are like there, so you can see that one as well. So that's where you got to also take out. Once that's out, we've got two 10mm up the top here. Both of those are going to pull out, and then we've got to get to these ones in the side, which I'll show you. Glove box I need to come down, so this here has to come off. So just use a pair of pliers to squeeze this together, and you can like pull off your arm. Then these are the things that are holding each side in, so you just need to squeeze the glove box together, and then squeeze like so that side, because they just catch on here. So you squeeze them in, and the whole glove box will pop down. And then in there, let me try and move this camera around. Up in there is a 10mm bolt. Oh yeah, it was the one you could see in there. See past that little bit of that one you can see there, just above the yellow cable or beside it. That needs to come out. You got one of these same screws in the other side. So there's a small Phillips screw in the bottom. Take off this. You can pull this off with your hand and just kind of hang it loose. And now the one you want is right in there. It looks the same as the other side one. I don't even know if I'll be able to get it on video because I can't even get my camera in there. But I've already taken it out. It's actually at the back there. It's in the same spot as the other one. It's like right back through there. But anyway, you'll be able to see it. And what we've put in the kit here to help you guys out is, hopefully you get a socket set because you need one. But if you can use this little extension. It's got a little bit of flex on it, so you can get it in there, bend it a bit, and then what happens? You go in through like this, and then you get your thing out here and you undo it, and that is your two side ones done. Now hopefully that'll mean we can pull out the actual whole unit now. So I'll show you how to do that. One of the hardest part of the install on like this one is those. Once that's out, go kind of, I pull like that, whole bit will like come out. I'm just going to put something down here to protect this, and then we'll pull it out. So we're going to pull this out. It might be a little bit tight, so we'll find the cable that's the tightest. Might be the AC one down the bottom here. There is a tight one in here, or maybe it's the brackets. Could be in the other brackets down the bottom, so just actually lift it up. I'll show you these plugs once I've unplugged them all, but the basically you'll push down the top and then pull out. I'll show you all these plugs. Just be a bit careful taking this out because it is sharp. You don't really want to scratch your dash at all. Ooh, here we go. So, that's the back of it. I'll show you all these plugs here. So, we had our AC one down the bottom, push down on top. Then with all of these, you have to like push them down. Apart from this one here, which you flick up. You flick that one up. The rest of them all have little push down things on them. So you're going to take all those off. Remember, these two are from the top. So those are top, no, the bottom. If you got the Harman Kardon, you're going to need this extra cable kit and CAN bus here. If you had the standard WRX, you're probably going to be using one like these two. Majority of them, I believe, be out of this one here. And that's our plug and play harness kit. So we're going to use the CAN bus one here, which is this little CAN bus box here on the Harman Kardon system. And you want to grab your harness and the head unit. Again, this is the Harman Kardon ones, we've got this CAN bus kit. We're going to match the plugs up. They'll fit where they fit. They should go in pretty smoothly. If they don't, pull them out and make sure there's no bent pins, because bent pins can cause you an issue and you wonder why something's not working. So you normally have two big fat ones, which are pretty common, big pin ones I should call them, and you've got this sort of this one here. So this is where these, that's a nice click sound, love that, because then we know it's clicking in nicely, and we're not having any issues with a bent pin. Because if it doesn't sort of go clicking really sort of like nice, it could mean a pin in our harness is off. Have a look down it and just, you'll see it just bent slightly. You've got to sort of like push it back in place with a trim tool and you'll be good to go. It does happen, and it does cause customers to call us up and say, hey, these two is a USB retention and our GPS, which we're not worried about because we're going to have a new one. Then the back of our head unit here, you can see I've put in our camera cable, the grey one, 2 RCAs, and just the other Bluetooth antenna. Because all we're going to do here is we're going to check that something's working. I'll plug this in. And then what you want to do here too, I just use a bit of foam here, it's not too bad. There might be a couple RCAs in the harness. No, here's only one, but I'd normally follow it back and just make sure it's going into it. So that one's going to go into the purple cam in. And yeah, that's all we need. I'd probably also do the actual radio antenna so we can check we got FM, AM working all good, just in case we need to troubleshoot. So that's going to come out like so. Tuck that into there. Just took that out to give myself a bit more freedom here. Little twist tie. Oh, I've just unplugged it. So anyway, that's cool. Then we're going to, that's all fine. All right, I'm going to power it up and see how we go. So I get that around, and then in the back there. So we got power, it's always a good start. Go on the radio. Right, something weird's happening there, so we'll check that out in a second. Oh, system optimization. About to restart. Oh, that's fine, it's optimizing itself. Cool, we're gonna do that for a second. So it's powered up, we've gone to radio, we've got sound. Tried to use the steering wheel controls we don't have, so I'm just checking out a couple things here. Does it work? But you're still no sound. No, we got that. So one thing we're going to do here is we're going to come into settings, car infotainment, about device, settings, 8878. Please note this is for our M series. CAN type. I'm going to type in the number 285. We'll try and we should have a piece pay for this in the future in the kit. I'm going to reboot this thing. Now that's going to get our CAN bus working, and that should get us our steering wheel controls. Because again, the sound working this is a big one because the sound is coming from the amp, so we need to make sure that was all working. So let this boot up for a second. Again, if you didn't have the CAN bus Simon Carden, you probably wouldn't have to do anything, so that's fine. So now, cool, we've got steering wheel controls. Scan a radio station. I can tell that's working. The sound system in this is awesome in these cars. So that's cool. You just check the external amp sliders on, can be a 1, 2. So that's cool. So we've got steering wheel controls. We'll see what happens now when we go into reverse. So we have a trigger. It's cool, a black screen. Press and hold on here. 4 zeros. We want to change this. It should be CVBS NTSC for the factory camera. Again, you'd have to do that even without the Harman Kardon one if you're looking for like a factory like camera. If you don't, you'll be like running our camera. That's fine as well. Cool. So that's the factory camera working all good. This is our amp set here. You can choose the second one as well. They both seem to work, so it doesn't really need to worry about actually which one you choose. Car info, you got a couple of your car settings in here. Some of them will work and some of them won't. So we've got steering wheel controls, reverse camera. So yeah, that's our source button, that's fine. So everything's working like it should. We had reception. AM reception is always good to check. And then we know our antenna amps are working. So we're all good. We can basically go and put the whole unit in now. I call these all out auxiliary cables. They're all the cables in the bag. That wasn't the main harness one. This thing's our 4G antenna. It's only useful if you're going to run a SIM card in the device, but you might as well put it in because you don't know if you do or you don't until you've tried probably or had to play with the unit. So it's worth just like running anyway. Just needs a good clear view of the sky with no steel above it. It's going to be fine in there. But the same as the GPS. This means the unit, GPS. This means the unit has its own like GPS, which means if you want to run offline maps or whatever, or use it like a GPS, like a speedo, it's all going to work okay. 3M stick pad type setup at the back here, so peel and stick. Normally worth giving it a little wipe with your hand before you go to stick it on. Make sure it's nice and a bit clean. You can have it a bit close to the other 4G antenna. We haven't found any issues with that. There's those two there. 2 USBs and a microphone. We'll probably run these into the glove box. because the glove box is a good spot to have USBs. Mainly used just in case in the future you want to run, I don't know, maybe a tyre pressure app or a dash cam or something, or DAB. It all hooks into here. So it all sort of plugs in through the USBs. So they're into the glove box there. SIM card again, might need if you want to use a SIM in the unit. We're going to throw it in the glove box there, so that way if you do want to use it in the future, you just can throw a SIM in it and off you go. So it's quite handy to the glove box out because it makes it very easy to pull these cables through. There we go, like so. Third USB we're going to use of our retention cable. It fell on the ground, so I couldn't find it. Now there's 2 USBs on this car, but only 1 USB retention cable. So we'll have to see what happens here when we test this out, because I'm not 100% sure. So that'll go into there. All that's doing is like basically turning our USB into the car's one, so it works with the factory one. The last thing's our external mic. We're going to run that. On the other kit, if there wasn't a Harman Kardon, we actually have the factory the microphone working. Comes out for this plug here. So in your harness, you'll see a mic jack, and you can just plug that into our microphone here. We might try and add it to the Harman Kardon kit as well, because it actually looks to me like this is the same setup, so we'll have to test it. But if you have the mic plug in here, you can try that. Make it cool while it's all kind of like hanging out. Test the external, or even just use the internal. It's up to you. There is a setting on the M series unit, and you've got to change it under like settings and like common to external or internal mic, so you can choose which one you use. I'm going to run the external mic. I'll show you how you do that, but you basically tuck it in the A-pillar. So you just use a trim tool, push in, tuck the wire in, chuck it into the seam here, chuck it in the seam here. So push it through here. You can use your cable puller tool to help push it through, and then run it under the dash and pull it up, plug it into there. Let's swap the AC over here. So if you take the side brackets off, like so, spin the side bracket off here, like that. The only reason you're going to take off those is because you want to get to your AC vent here, your AC climate controller, and that's got 4 Phillips screws on it. They'll come off. That just swaps onto our controller, onto our fascia, and screw back in your screws, and that'll get your controls over to here. You'll be good to go. So that's all screwed in now, so you can see that screwed in like so. Now the other thing you got is your aircon vents. Now one popped out when we're doing it, but you look at the back here, there's some little clips on the top. So they need to slide out, both of those. There's 2. This one's a good look at. 1, 2, and you get 2 on the bottom. So small flathead. Still nothing too special there. I start with the shorter ones first, flathead under there, and kind of push from the front, and you pop them out. Then the 2 bottom ones are popped out, and then flathead under the 2 top ones, and they'll come out fairly straightforward. And then you just want to slide them into our fascia. Just make sure you have them in the right ones, and you can sort of see you're able to see the homes they slide into. So you just slide them into that home, and should be good. Clips in. If it's a little bit tight, that's good, because that means it's going to fit nicely. Just make sure they go home into the clips, and then we'll do the other one. Make sure your clips line up, top and the bottom. There's only 2 of them, so you can't go too wrong. You'll probably find you got to bend the fascia just a touch to get the clips to go in. Yeah, there we go, they're all lined up now. And they'll all clip in like so. And that's your aircon vents in. And all looking like a factory one, which is what we like to see. So that's cool. Now you got your buttons. So you're the buttons on the factory one here. They've got a couple of little sliders in the back, push each side. That pushes the bottom one through. Hang on, that was up this way. So that's actually the top one. That's why I'm a bit confused. That'll clip in. The bottom one's kind of the same, but you got these little, you push it with your hand, it's got those little clips. So that'll shoot through into the bottom. That's it. So there you have it. All looking pretty good, how it should do. And all working. Now we'll go and put it in. You can see I sort of tape my antennas together. Don't tape anything up too much really, because it's going to have plenty of room in this one to slide in. And I tape all the auxiliary plugs out. So I start from like one side, big like main plug into here, push that in. We've got our antenna plug already in. Do the auxiliary plugs. So it's Vhedia bottom there. This one's also in the bottom row. And these two are our top row ones. So in total, I've got 5 auxiliary plugs, I call these. This antenna can actually just float around. It works no matter where you put it really. Even if you don't have it on, it actually still kind of works. Then we've got these two, 1, GPS, 4G. Now, don't forget your AC and your top plugs. But basically you want to get all your cables to sort of drop in the back. I'll show you what we're going to do. And also, before you get too excited, an important thing to always do is make sure, oh, my finger got jammed in there, that everything's like working, because it can stop you pulling it back out. Don't forget the aircon or the other top ones. I kind of have to get my head in there and have like a look at it. But then what you want to do is, I like to start the car up. I like to check everything's like working. It isn't going to quick boot here because we've had the actual plug out. So your AC works, hazard works. Make sure your the buttons all work. Still got steering wheel controls.
In the state southeast alone,
still got sound.
$2 million with 0.9 triple M. That's real alternative. The Australia
Love that we got sound. Reverse.
Explore the beauty of Australia with flights on sale to over 60
beautiful.
Destinations.
That's everything we want to check out. So these ones, we've sort of got the cables to drop in, so they can be a little bit of a challenge to put in these ones. Just got to remember how I normally do it. Haven't done it for a while.
August 18 unless sold out prior. Terms and conditions apply.
Yeah, that's right. So I sort of get the bottom. Sorry, turn the car. Get the bottom lined up. Just make sure there's little clips in the bottom. You can sort of see them. You'll see them when you're doing it. Get that lined up. Then kind of bend in the top at the same time. Get it sort of all happening like that. And then if you can kind of push it all in together at the same time, like that. So install's not too bad. I'm going to put the other glove box back in. Don't forget the little arm on the side in the glove box. I'll tape these up and the install will be done. So there we have it with the wireless CarPlay all hooked up. Everything running nicely and all looking good.